Hi people, welcome back to the channel. Oh boy, the inclination when one sits down with a camera to fall into that YouTube voice is crazy. So to address the elephant in the room, I think it's fairly obvious. I look like I've been crying. If it's not, I'll just put it out there that I have been, because I've really been going through a lot lately. And I'm not kidding when I say through a lot. And to be honest, I don't want to get into any of the details because I don't want to keep stuff alive that doesn't need to be continuing to exist in my reality. However, I felt the need to come and to document this moment in its raw harshness. And if people judge this video who see it, I don't care anymore, frankly. Because I spent the majority of my previous life up until this point, up until now, stifling what was me inside of myself. Not listening to my own intuition and myself and my guts and all of that. And the long story short of that, and part of the reason I suppose I decided to share this, even though I'm honestly very uncomfortable in sharing all of this, is because I don't think I'm alone in really struggling with things sometimes. Like, I don't really know what I'm trying to get at here exactly by filming this, I mean, other than to document a moment of real challenge in my life, because I'm having to face myself. I'm getting. It doesn't, I'll be honest again, it doesn't feel like a gift yet. Right now, it feels like someone's throwing a bunch of my own trash back in my face. And the funny part about that is the only person throwing this stuff in my face is me. So I have heard, when I got into spirituality, I heard about shadow work. And I guess I thought I knew what that meant for a while. And today, not just today, the last few days, and again today, I've really been learning what shadow work actually is or can be, can kind of mean. And I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying that I have a firm handle on that. No clue. I'm just admitting to the honesty of the fact that I don't really understand shadow work, and it's also become obvious to me, or very, very clear to me, maybe not obvious, that I need to do a lot of work on myself. Now, this may seem crazy to you, as it is for me to be experiencing it, because, why, you ask? Because I'm the person who has been out here on YouTube telling people to be positive and to work towards self-positivity and to have good self-talk, and I really believe in all these things that I say. And here I am, and in all this time, I haven't really done the shadow work. To be fair about something to myself, though, I want to acknowledge the part of myself that, sadly, was under the false impression that they were doing their shadow work. That was under the impression that shadow work was a one-time kind of thing. And I'm laughing now only because I realize that that's funny, because no, shadow work is kind of, I'm starting to think at this moment in time, my thinking is that perhaps shadow work is something we do deal with for our whole lives. Question mark? I really honestly in this moment, I don't know. And as hard as I'm trying not to cry in this video, it's probably not going to happen because I'm really struggling with what I'm going through. When you finally turn, like, it's as if I have been running from myself for my life up until now, and only just now I'm finally stopping running and turning around to face the thing. And it's freaking horrifying. I've had a lot of realizations in the last few days about the way that I operate in the world and what's distressing. What's distressing about that, and I don't know if I'll even keep this in because of how much I'm crying, but what's distressing about this is seeing things from a different perspective. You know, a lot of people like to talk about, oh, you just need to see things from a different perspective, or how perspective can shift everything. And that's absolutely all true. What people don't talk about is this part, the really hard part of it. I mean, yeah, people say, oh, shadow work is hard. Yeah, it's more than hard. It's very, very, very hard. And don't believe anyone who tells you that it's easy, frankly. I don't think it's easy. And I'm just broken inside and confused about who I am as a person, about what ego is, about the size of mine, about whether it's healthy to have one or you need to kill it. There's so many things in my life that I don't feel clear on. And it's embarrassing, to be perfectly frank, to admit that in any sort of public forum. And yet I feel the need to say that too, because for my entirety of my life up until this point, I have not spoken my truth. And that largely, I genuinely believe, was a part of what started to make me physically ill, which is why I why I often talk to you guys about the stuff that I do. Because I've really been through these things. I'm not just saying it here and there, like trying to be some kind of motivational speaker. I mean, yes, I love it if I get to empower you guys. That's a side benefit. The first thing I'm gonna do is just exist and not hurt anybody. And if I get to, holy cow, what an awesome day. If I get to improve somebody's day, then I have had a blessed day. That sounds so cheeky nowadays because everyone's saying blessed this and blessed that. I really mean it though. I feel lucky and blessed if I get to make somebody laugh in a day, if I get to make someone smile in a day. And I know that oftentimes you guys see me in my videos and I'm pretty upbeat because as a person I am. But right now I need to be honest that I'm really, really struggling. Like really struggling. And part of that struggle has to do with this commitment that I made to myself to do this project. I think I'm a little bit afraid of myself because discovering myself through this journey has been really even more shocking and awakening than I realized it would be. And I'm not sure if anybody around me, not that that's like a relevant factor, because as I have said before, ultimately at the end of the day, we're in our own bubbles and it kind of literally doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because at the end of the day, what we take home is ourselves in our own bubble and we're the only one who can affect that. I'm just struggling to make sense of my life a bit at this moment in time, to be honest, because of a lot of different things, and I won't go into all of them. I guess I wanted to share it because it's honest, because I need you guys to know that, because truly I'm fighting myself here. The way that I'm fighting is that what I literally need right now is rest. In a physical, literal sense, I need to rest this body, and this needs rest too. One of, like, I think I mentioned her the other day, this new mentor that I have who's rapidly becoming just so near and dear to my heart, because she just has a way of bringing information that is so poignant and impactful and makes sense. And anyways, I just wanted to share that I'm really struggling, and I've been going through a lot of shifts, and I really need the time to process it. I need to, quite honestly, not be concerned with putting out videos every single day. So I'm struggling with it because I committed to this project and I don't want to rescind that commitment to myself and then not do the 365-day project. And I don't want to not bring value to you guys. So I'm like, why am I sitting here in front of a camera, blubbering on some level? And these are the things that are some of the things that I'm going through. And it doesn't matter to me anymore if people make fun of me for this or whatever. It is what it is. I'm documenting it because I told myself that I would do this. And even if I get laughed off stage, as it were, so be it. My life is real and I exist. And as crazy weird as this might be as a reference to make, I recently found someone's channel whose channel name is quite literally I exist. And although I don't quite understand them, to be fair, like I don't know if they're doing it for the views or if they genuinely are who they're portraying themselves to be. At any rate, I was kind of struck by the title of their channel being I Exist. And to be honest with you, she was a part of the inspiration for this vlog, the 365-day project for the vlogging that I'm doing. Because I thought, you know what, dang it, even if no one in the world watches, I have a documented, my experience matters. I do exist, like I exist. And that's people in my life have at times, I think maybe seen a weird reflection of me trying to cope with the fact that I basically felt invisible. And unfortunately, I think that the sad part that I'm kind of processing through is that I realize that I may have, unfortunately, unintentionally really hurt a lot of people by being angry over things that, it's so complicated, guys. I don't even want to get into all of it. I'm just wanting to share the realness of the fact that I am struggling to the point to where I'm blubbering on a camera where I don't even want to be here doing this. I actually don't. I want to be hiding right now. I feel humiliated. I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed. And I also think that it's not a coincidence it's happening with the full moon because it's a time of release, So I guess that I'm still purging, lots of stuff. Just, gosh, I could use a break. I feel physically so tired of, like, it feels like I've been doing shadow work for a long time. And it's a bit jarring to realize that, like, oh, no, actually, I might not have really been doing the real thing at all. I sort of feel like I'm starting from scratch, and that's a bit like, holy moly. Like with my life, with myself, as a newborn baby in a weird way, with like a full vocabulary and all of that, which is not realistic. And I sincerely hope that through this blubbering and weird and disjointed and I'm sure everything video that someone has taken away something good. Not because I need to prove anything to anyone, anywhere, anytime, but because my aim, part of my mission in life, is to give value and to help humans, to help the human race. So if someone doesn't feel alone because they watched a video where I was blubbering my face off and looking like a crying fool, then I'm happy with that, because they're not alone. They know that they're not experiencing something on their own in an isolated little, because we can think that we are so alone, and we're never really alone. And you, if you're watching this, and God forbid you're in a similar struggle of things, just know that in my disgusting blubbering, I understand you. And there is nothing that either of us should be ashamed of. I hope this is for someone out there, because God knows why I'm blubbering to a camera this way. I sincerely don't really want to be doing this. But, not but, so I'm going to leave that but in for teaching purposes of myself. And I want to be someone else going forward, not the good parts of myself. I'm so ready to, I know I titled a recent video, I just want to be happy, and maybe some people come across that title and just scoff and are like, girl, I think of Wanda Sykes at times like that. Like, she has this hilarious skit that she does about her baby or whatever, and like the baby's crying, and like, girl, you can't handle baby, like, life is gonna kick your butt. She puts it a little more aggressively than that. Anyway, it's a very funny moment, and I was thinking about that because here I am, I'm having the subjective perspective of myself sitting here crying over how I'm struggling and realizing that, like, there are way bigger problems in the world, and yet I do feel this. I do feel the things that I'm feeling right now, and I do feel as sad as I am, and I do feel as disjointed by the recent enlightenment I've received about myself, which has not been fun. fair warning, if you ask for enlightenment on yourself, be aware that it might not be all good stuff. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a super duper long video because I'm already honestly self-conscious enough about the fact that I'm crying in a video because I don't want to bring this type of energy here. However, the reason I ultimately decided to sit down and record this is because I feel it's important to record the moment and what I'm going through for myself to look back on, to learn from even soon. And the aim of anyone else who might be going through any level of heartache, heartbreak, heart stuff, struggle, anything. I don't want to go listing a bunch of, negative scenarios, but anything you're struggling with, know that it's valid and your feelings are valid and it's okay, not something that you have to be ashamed for. And to anybody who might think this is just some pitiful girl's waffle, well, you have a lot to learn about life because every single buddy has a journey that is hard. And I really mean that. And that level of hardness, like what that hard is, can so vary from the simplest things of, well, I don't know. I don't even want to give an example. The point is that there's a whole spectrum of range in that. And I just wanted to share what's been going through my head now. And I hope that it can help someone. I really do. Even if that's just future me, but hopefully that's other than just future me as well. You're not alone. Change is really hard. Learning about yourself can be really hard. Shadow work is effing hard. And I don't really know what shadow work is. And I'm just doing my best to be present and witness this stuff. And I feel weird about having emotions because when you detach to a point, it's like feeling the not so great emotions feels really scary because you're like, but wait a minute now, aren't I just activating and then thus forth calling in this energy to myself? And I find myself in this moment wondering, maybe even that's not true. Like maybe nothing I thought was true is actually true. And that's kind of a big piece of why I'm struggling, because I'm someone who I would like to find more stability in my life. And I'm not setting it up for myself. It's a lot. This is too much for one video, so I'm going to keep it at that. I just wanted to share this honest moment of like, life is kind of kicking my butt right now. I'm trying to take it like a champ. I don't know how that's going. I feel like I'm falling apart, and I shouldn't say that, I know, but this just feels really like one of the hardest times of my life. And as I've recently spoken about in several other videos, it's partially because I am present with it for maybe the first time in my whole life with this sadness, and can see it's hard to articulate this stuff, guys. I don't know. I don't really know how to talk about it. Whew. I hope that you guys are all doing well. I don't know if your new year has been kind of tumultuous in a way like mine. Know that if it has, you are not alone. And I really pray that all of us walk into better versions of ourselves this year, versions that walk the walk and talk the talk, and are in more alignment and joy and peace. I hope that I find a way to understand and work with my own mind better so that I can be happier. So anyway, I don't want to keep rambling on and without point. So I'm going to end this here. Thank you for listening to me for so long. It really does mean the world that any of you ever listens to me, because it's something that I still struggle with, is like feeling valuable enough to be listened to. And you being me in the future, or you listening, you literally anyone, what you have to say matters. It's valuable. And please don't let anyone tell you that it's not. And please be careful with your words, because holy crap, have I learned that lesson lately. And I know I made a video about it, and I can only hope that that video has the effect that that it has the potency and the power that I know that words have. So I guess if you're younger still, do your shadow work. Get to know yourself. Learn about the way that you work. discover things that you might have picked up from your family patterns. Just do the work, because honestly, take it from a previous procrastinator, a healed procrastinator. The more you put things off, the worse it is. Always and forever, that has been true. Maybe that's a law that I don't like. It has a name that I don't know of. Don't know. So I'm going to keep on working on me, becoming a better version of myself so that I can be, well, no, with no specific intention other than I hope I give you guys value, and if nothing else, that someone feels less alone for having watched this video, or feels more understood, or anything at all. And even if not, I'm grateful to myself and to the universe for finally actually sitting down and recording what I'm really thinking about, and not just doing what I've had done in the past, which doesn't work, which is bottle it down to the extent to where it made me probably physically ill. Don't do that, guys. If there's one thing I can also pass on, it's don't bottle your emotions or feelings or thoughts. Please share them. Good grief, share them. You don't have to share everything, but I mean, share things that are important to you with people that you love, and for goodness sake, tell the people that you love them as often as you can, because we never know when they're going to just be taken away from us. And it's awful to think about, I know. It's a reality that every single one of us wakes up with, though. We may or may not be here the next day. And so I, as an awakened, aware person, and I encourage you, if you're the same, because I imagine you are if you're here, to do that also. Make sure you tell the people that you love them and how much you care for them. Because we never know when we're not going to have them around anymore. And that is really tragic. Even though, and this is a whole conversation for some other day, so don't worry, I'm not going there, but even though technically nothing ever dies, energy is just sort of recycled. For those of you who stuck around, you guys are gems, and I really do treasure you, because I know that this channel has changed a lot in the last, in the entirety of the time I've had it, as well as the last, year especially. There's been some big changes, and I appreciate you all bearing with the channel and bearing with me whilst I change and grow. So thank you for being here. If you do want support from me or coaching, if I can help you out, reach out at this email address. Always feel free. It's always down in the description too. And I will see you guys, you beautiful, beautiful cats, in the next video. Namaste, much love. Take care of yourselves.